Britain loves telling bedtime stories about empire, about heritage, about punching above its weight. But once you peel away the nostalgia, what you're left with isn't a proud island nation, it's a country split straight down the middle. A capital city that floats above reality like a gilded airship, and a rest of the country that's been left to rust, rot, and forget what opportunity even felt like. London is a global playground for the rich. The rest of Britain is a warning label for what happens when a country bets everything on 1 square mile of financial wizardry and prays for the best. The UK has 21,700 millionaires and dozens of billionaires, yet outside the capital, families are counting pennies to survive. Disposable income in the UK, not the poor parts. The country as a whole is now lower than the poorest 5 US states. The so-called world's 6th largest economy is losing a race to Mississippi. And if that doesn't punch the fantasy straight out of British exceptionalism, nothing will. Life expectancy in parts of Blackpool? Lower than Rwanda, a coastal town in a G7 nation, performing worse than a country still recovering from civil war. You cannot call that a developed nation. You can barely call it functional governance. Take London and the Southeast out of the GDP equation, and the UK's economic output falls off a cliff of 14% collapse instantly. No serious country has its prosperity chained to a single region like this. Germany doesn't. France doesn't. Even Italy's notorious north-south split looks healthy compared to Britain's capital versus everywhere else chokehold. So the real question isn't why is Britain divided? It's who engineered this? And the answer is brutally simple. Britain did this to itself. The modern UK was forged in the 1980s, the decade. Britain declared war on its own industrial heartlands. Mines shut, shipyards shut, steelworks shut. Entire communities were wiped out in the name of competitiveness. And while the nation was collapsing in slow motion, London was being remade into a financial superweapon. Thatcher's Britain didn't evolve. It amputated itself. Manufacturing towns weren't given support, retraining, alternative industries, or infrastructure. They were given a pat on the back and a free one-way ticket to unemployment. And while the North and Midlands were burning, the City of London was handed free rein deregulated. Turbocharged, unshackled from accountability, it became Europe's financial casino, high risk, high reward, and high on the delusion that markets alone could hold a country together. They couldn't. And came right to buy, sold as a patriotic middle-class dream. Delivered as a long-term economic catastrophe. Council homes were sold at a discount, and the government refused to replace them. London's social housing stock was gutted. Working families who once had stable, cheap, secure homes suddenly became tenants in a market that treats human shelter as a speculative asset. And the final twist? Foreign billionaires swooped in to buy entire blocks, turning the city into the world's most expensive storage unit for offshore wealth. Apartments don't house people. They house capital gains. Londoners don't compete for homes. They compete against money they will never see in their lifetime. Meanwhile, in towns across the UK, houses lose value while jobs disappear. Imagine living in a country where your home, the biggest investment of your life, is worth less every year because the government abandoned your region decades ago. Now let's talk about public investment, or rather, the black hole that isn't investment outside London. Transport? London gets Crossrail, the North gets maybe next decade. Infrastructure? Billions flow into the capital. Wales and the Midlands are lucky if they get fresh paint on a train station. Research and development? The golden triangle of London, Oxford, Cambridge eats from a bottomless buffet. The rest of the UK fights over crumbs. This isn't an accident, it's a structural choice. Pump every drop of economic oxygen into the capital and suffocate the rest. And look at the result. High streets dead. Public services collapsing. Regional economies. Talented young people gone. Britain didn't just create a north-south divide. It built a moat around the capital and let the countryside drown. You can see the divide in more than statistics. It's embedded in social attitudes. London thinks it is the UK. The rest of the UK increasingly feels like London is a parasite consuming everything, giving nothing back. Londoners dine in Michelin-star restaurants. Coastal towns run food banks inside churches. The capital debates electric supercars. Northern towns debate whether their bus will even arrive. London invests in global art galleries. Communities in Yorkshire fundraise just to keep their public swimming pool open. This isn't a nation. It's a theme park wrapped around a wasteland. Now here's the bit nobody wants to say out loud. The UK cannot survive long-term if this imbalance continues. No country can function when one city hoards prosperity while entire regions rot from neglect. Not politically, not socially, not economically, not morally. And yet, every British government, Conservative, Labour, coalition has played the same broken game. Celebrate London. Ignore the rest, pretend a slogan will fix it. Levelling up was never a strategy. It was a PR campaign with a budget smaller than London spends on cycle lanes. Where does this lead? To decline. Not hypothetical decline, real, measurable, visible decline. Broken infrastructure, shrinking life expectancy, stagnant wages, brain drain, dying towns, crumbling schools, overstretched hospitals, political rage simmering under the surface. This isn't the fall of an empire. That already happened. This is the fall of a country that never figured out how to come to terms with its own post-imperial reality. The UK has become a divided kingdom, a capital city, sprinting forward while the rest is pushed backwards. London cannot and will not save the country. And the country will not recover until policymakers admit the obvious. Prosperity concentrated in one region is not prosperity. It's fragility. And Britain is more fragile than it has ever been, until wealth, power, and opportunity are spread. Beyond the capital, the UK's decline won't slow down. It will accelerate, faster than anyone expects, faster than the political class is prepared to admit, faster than a nation built on nostalgia can understand. Because the truth is simple. A country where London is rich and everything else is poor is not a stable country. It's a countdown. This is the divided kingdom.